Right, we're just waiting for the last sidecar to come round and grid up there. On pole position, we have Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan on the little 600 machine. Pete the Pirate and Louise Blythe there in second spot there. Andy Scrivener, Tina McEwen there in third spot. And Dennis Charlotte will climb out on fourth spot on row 2. Darren Prentice does the swinging for Mark Halls there on the 69 Formula 2 machine. They're all scored as Formula 1s here on row 3. And Doug Corns does the swinging for Matt Peters there on row 3. Going further back, Dave MacArthur, Tony New, and Gordy McEwen and Louis Scrivener there on row 5. And that, I think that was a good clean start. We've got a computer screen in the way here, but we're on our way for a 10-lap journey, 10-lap races. The first 3 600s next, that'll be a 10-lap, and then we go to 8 5s and 8s for all the other classes. So out of turn 1 there, and it is the number 73 machine, the Carl Cox Motorsport, beautiful little machine, just absolutely immaculately prepared, and it's just such a joy to watch. A lot of stuff's immaculately prepared out there. Pete the Pirate's certainly got a good team behind him, and new passenger Louise Blythe. Louise has been around for many, many years, did some sidecar swinging, had a lap record here. I remember congratulating her on a lap record here about 10, 15 years ago with Stacey Seller from Australia. She's back on there, did a season with my brother on the Aprilia last year, Ian Staples on the number 92 machine, and now she's jumped on there with Pete Goodwin, because Pete's passenger from last year, Dunlop. Kendall Dunlop. She's had a baby in the last 2 months, and she says she'll be back next year with Pete the Pirate. So great to see them out there. Dennis Charlotte there, busy man this weekend doing several other classes. Still leads the championship as well. What have we got? The points are 124, 122. Andy Scrivener and Tina McEwen in second. Gordy McEwen, Louis Scrivener in third place on the number 90 machine. Both the first 2 bikes did not do the South Island rounds there. Look at that pass coming up there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, Pete the Pirate's just come up next to him, but I think that smaller F2 machine just got a little bit later on the brakes, and Barry Smith still managed to keep him at bay. So, yeah, Pete the Pirate talking to Team Pirate, and they've got a new engine on board the rig this year, so they're going BMW power, and already happy with where they're going. So, brilliant stuff to see Pete the Pirate back, our defending sidecar champion.
Yeah, he's been around for a lot of years. He come in from England, used to race over there, had an ex-World Championship machine. I think that still floats around New Zealand. He was a prison, or he still is a prison officer, was way up Northland, but he's moved down into Auckland. Look at the big Formula 1 machine gobbling up that centre straight, but it'll all come to the braking there, and the lighter rig, the smaller physically rig, and just less weight, everything. I mean, look at the size of the passengers. Both those passengers are pretty light, but I think Tracy Bryan there doing the passengers a little bit lighter, so it's all about brakes, but I think it's going to change now. We've got a change for the lead. Here we go, Barry Smith, 73, around the outside on that big Go Media sweeper there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, absolutely awesome racing to see. Pete the Pirate definitely pulled up in front down the back straight, but the little deep braking of the F2 machine, Barry Smith, he's an experienced campaigner as well, so he knows all the tricks, and just no way round for Pete the Pirate. He's got to just sit there and follow around turn 1, so brilliant stuff to see sidecars around Manfeild, and there we see Andy Scrivener, Tina McEwen up into third place, so if that finishes like that, they will take the lead or will be tied on points with Dennis Charlotte will climb out in the championship, so the all-important championship is definitely coming alive.
Still 6 races. We've got a 5-round championship, but over the last few years it's just been 4 rounds, but still 6 races, including this one to go. So we're just over halfway. We're sort of 3/5 into it, but all those points, of course, sidecars can have a DNF like anything else. Probably more prone in sidecars, a lot more mechanical parks. There it is. Pete the Pirate goes into the front, down that centre straight, but Barry Smith tucks it up on the inside, just holds off the brakes a little bit longer. Here we go. Pete's going to wind it up down that back straight, opens it up. Remember, this is 1000cc before in front of 600cc. He'll get a big enough brake down here, probably that Barry Smith won't be able to pull up beside him around that big Go Media sweeper, but never discount Barry Smith there. In fact, can't quite do it. So maybe this is the race change that we've been looking for. In fact, no, he noses back in the front. Comes out there on the title line, and Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan noses back in the front. What do we get across the start-finish line? A split of 20 thousandths of a second. Barry Smith in the lead with Pete the Pirate there in second place. 20 thousandths of a second. Hot action here already at the Manfeild in just the second race of the weekend.
Absolutely brilliant to see this little battle for the lead. They head into the S's, and Barry Smith, Tracy Bryan, that'll be the F2 machines, bread and butter through the S's. But Pete the Pirate definitely closer than he's been through that section in recent laps. So absolutely brilliant, and still 7 laps to go, so plenty of time. And watch that F1 machine reel him in down the Denny Holmes straight, the centre straight here at Manfeild. And just an absolutely brilliant battle. Catch the update in third place still, Andy Scrivener, and Tina McEwen doing the swinging there. Will Climo doing the swinging for Dennis Charlotte there in 4th place. Mark Halls and Darren Prentice on another F2 machine. They are there in 5th place. So looking at some more of the updates there. There's a good battle there from Matt Peters and Doug Corns with Gordy McEwen and Louis Scrivener there. So that's the battle for 6th and 7th. So absolutely brilliant stuff all over the sidecar field as we watch them out of Go Media. They've got lap traffic to contend with, but Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan will lead them down the front straight, but Pete the Pirate right in behind him.
I'm looking at another great battle out there as well. It's between Matt Peters and Doug Corns on the 13 machine and Gordy McEwen and Louis Scrivener on the number 19 machine. Where's that battle going? That's down the back straight at the moment. Gordy on the bright green number 19 machine, and Matt Peters, Doug Corns on the white and red machine. And look at them coming onto the front straight. They've been battling this out all the way through. In the last lap it was McEwen in the front, still is, but Matt Peters, he's right on the tail of them. There's probably 4 bike lengths between, or 4 sidecar lengths between them. In terms of lap times, Pete the Pirate's put in a 1:13.851. He couldn't get into the 1:13s in qualifying. In fact, he's half a second quicker than his qualifying. Who could get into the 1:13s? Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan, a 1:13.947. But in fact, they've done an 8.97 now. That last lap was quicker. The last lap they were into the 14s. So 2 sidecar teams into the 13s. Nowhere near lap record, but as mentioned earlier, the lap record was set by Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes. Tim Reeves being 6-time world champion on a British Superbike leading machine. So we just won't see that in this country for a lot of years. A machine of that quality and a team of that quality. And world champions here, mate. So this hell of a good lap times in the 13s there for those top 2 teams. Pete the Pirate in the front there. That's about the biggest gap he's had. That's over half a second, 0.533 of a second between first and second. Pete the Pirate, Louise Blythe, Barry Smith, Tracy Bryan, Andy Scrivener, Tina McEwen. Now that's 3 ladies there. Louise Blythe in the winning position there. Tracy Bryan in second, and Tina McEwen. We had 2 races at Hampton Downs, where the first ever time in New Zealand motorcycle racing history that aside from a women's only race, we saw 3 people on the podium. It was absolutely magic to see. We saw the second race, 3 girls on the podium, and the New Zealand TT, and we've got it right here in front, but don't let me put the commentator's curse on it.
Absolutely. So Pete the Pirate gets the lead down the centre straight this time and led through the S's. So Pete the Pirate, this might just be the break he needs in this race. We're at half race distance, and coming out of Higgins, he's in the lead by about 10 odd sidecar lengths coming down the back straight. So Pete the Pirate, this is the break he might need, Spider, to run away with this one.
Well, we're still only halfway through the race. It's a 10 lapper. We've still got 5 laps to go as they come across the the start-finish line in about 10 or 15 seconds. And of course we've got lappers to come through. It's always good for the first bike to get past a lapper. They often give them a surprise. We're not running the blue flag system here at Manfeild. I haven't seen any blue flags. So it's a bit of a surprise, but in fact, look at it. The lappers held that person up. They've got every right to do. So that's closed that race right up there. Pete the Pirate now goes through, but he did the right thing, pulled on the brakes, and now Tracy Bryan doing the swinging for Barry Smith there has gone through in second place. So we're now seeing 2 to 3 sidecar lengths between them, and coming across, I think, Nick and Wendy Plogue on the number 77 machine. They're entitled to be out there, these back markers. There's no first if there's no last. They both go up on the inside at the hairpin, so it's closed it right up, less than half a bike length between them. I think that Barry Smith missed a gear a couple of times coming out there, because it was half a bike length now, and now there's at least 100 metres between first and second. That's a bit of a shame. But it is what it is. Right now we're chasing national points, and neither of these 2 teams did the South Island, so they're 2 race meetings behind everybody, which is just going to close things up again. Pete the Pirate down the back straight there with Louise Blythe from Wanganui. That's a bit of an interesting story. She came back from Hampton Downs late at night, and she took 3 wrong turns. She ended up in New Plymouth, heading towards New Plymouth, then back to Tikawiti, even past Jaden Carrick from Wanganui, and thought, was he going the wrong way? So it was an extra hour and a half on her travellers, but maybe that's why she needs a pilot to show her around the track. She did point out a pilot, pirate pilot. Yep, pick me up on that. Yep. talking shorthand already. Louise, I don't know whether she's addicted to speed or just addicted to having a good time out there and enjoying the companionship of a race team, because she also races jet sprints here in Australia, so that's a pretty wild sport as well. Jet sprints on in Wanganui tonight too. If you want to slip away, then come back to 2 races of the New Zealand Superbike Championships tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Wanganui jet sprint track is about 9 kilometres north of Wanganui, and an awesome occasion for sure. So yeah, Pete the Pirate leads down the Denny Holm Straight, and yeah, decent enough 100-odd metre gap back to Tracy and Barry in second place. Still got the Green Machine 99, but we got trouble in the S's for the Green Machine, so that is coming to a stop. So it is unfortunate for Andy Scriven and Tina McEwen, so that gives Dennis Charlotte, Will Climo third place, and Mark Halls and Darren Prentice now go up into 4. So drama there, Spider.
Oh, I saw them mucking around with a fuel filter, and they had a different fuel filter put in. I don't know, that was earlier on in the day, or no, only just about half an hour before this race. So at least they've pulled out. There's no smoke coming off the machine. So got to look back over to Pete the Pirate. And where is he? He's going to... Where? Oh, there he is coming out of the Toyota. It's still not a big gap there. 2.2 seconds. There's enough in it to come back there. What have we got? The last lap record, last lap time, 13.9, 14.3 for Barry Smith. So he's not quick enough at the moment, but maybe he comes on strong towards the end of the race. Like I mentioned, he missed a gear, he missed a gear, I reckon, coming out of that hairpin. But I don't think that's a regular problem here. Nothing coming loose there. He's coming out of there. No, good as gold there. Really high corner speed there. He's just got to hope that maybe some lap traffic can play a part in this, or just settle for the points he's going to get. Really? What have we got in the way of national points? Where is Barry Smith? Barry Smith is in 5th place with 66 points. 4th place is Pete Goodwood and Louise Blythe there with 70 points. So 4 points between these two. So it's anybody's game yet. We've still got, as I say, this race and then another 5 in the New Zealand Superbike Championships. Next race up, 600 Supersport, and that'll be another 10-lap race as well. Right now, we're looking down the front straight. We're looking, the white flags come out. There's 1 lap to go for Pete the Pirate and Louise Blythe. Pretty hot work out there, even on a cooler day compared with the South Island rounds, and definitely the Motorfest in Hamilton was very, very hot. But it's this, what you got on the sidecar is you haven't got a lot of wind flow. You might think you have, but those passengers particularly are hidden out of the way. The rider's probably getting more cooling coming up off the ground, but then he's also got the exhaust to contend with. So, but they'll be used to it. They've been doing this for a number of years. Pete the Pirate and Barry Smith there. How old's Barry? He's just about 73, the number on the side. Don't let him tell. Don't let him hear that I said that. Doesn't matter. He's lost none of his charge and had a huge smash down at Ruapuna last year, and actually ended up with broken bones, broken back, and just it's amazing a man could come back from that, and it's pretty outstanding to see the Carl Cox team back out on the track. The final lap, they go into Higgins, and in first place, Pete the Pirate, Louise Blythe, Barry Smith there, Tracy Bryan, Dennis Charlotte, Will Climo, Mark Halls, Darren Prentice, Gordy McEwen and Louis Scrivener in 5th place on the 19 machine. Number 13, Matt Peters, Doug Cause. This is as it was the last lap. Followed by 67, Dave MacArthur from the Waikato with Tony New from, I think, Tauranga there in 7th plot. Darryl Williams, Brian Flynn there on the 238 machine. Nick and Wendy Plogue. And we've got 2 DNFers there. Over to you, Brad.
Yeah, checkered flag out. So Pete the Pirate will take the win, and Barry Smith, Tracy Bryan there in 2nd place. So that's a great little battle. There's some great battles at Hampton Downs at round 3 as well for Motofest. So it's going to be awesome to keep an eye on those 2 outfits there. So Pete the Pirate and Louise Blythe there getting the win. Barry Smith, Tracy Bryan in 2nd, and then we look out for the 83 machine, the Mega Motorcycle Centre, chair of Dennis Charlotte and Will Climo doing the passenering there. So there's they cross the line in 3rd place there. That's the 45 machine there coming through as well. They're a lap down. And now we look for the awesome blue and orange machine, Mark Halls and Darren Prentice. They're running in 4th place and just coming out of the Go Media sweeper now. So brilliant stuff from our top 4.
No, I did mention earlier on, Pete the Pirate was on 70 points and Barry Smith, Tracy Bryan on 66 points. That's 4 between them. I hadn't taken into account the 1 point that Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan earned for qualifying, so just 3 points in them. So that was before that race, and now you add what do you go? You get another 5 points apart from them, so it'd be about 8 points apart. So sorry about that, folks. It wasn't on my list, and I'll have to pay more attention, as they say. great to see our sponsors, DHL. There's a few staff from DHL in one of the corporate boxes there. Great to see them coming on board motorcycle racing. I know they've individually sponsored Dan Medham previously. Great to see them supporting the New Zealand Superbike Championships and DHL International Express. 220 countries and territories worldwide by calling. You can use their services. 0800 number as well. They've got an international specialist. Suzuki as well. Simon Mead and Peter Koldvich. Great supporters of the Suzuki Series, of course, and the New Zealand Superbike Championships. We need to keep an eye on Neil Ritchie turning up there, but we'll get out for that. Yamaha, Alan Petrie's helping from Yamaha New Zealand. ICG Print does the programs and paperwork for the New Zealand Superbike Championships. Dave Aitkins is the man there. Carl Cox Motorsport with Gavin Sokolich and Carl Cox Motorcycle New Zealand helping out. We've also got support from Pirelli, Honda Cars. You'll see that beautiful Honda car there that is running around at the beginning of the race with medics there. So if there's an incident in the first lap where it's more prone
we're not far away from doing our podium, and just a shout out today goes to Mick Paul, my shout out of the day. Nice to have you with us here today as a spectator, Mick. Mick had a bad crash at Wanganui at the Suzuki Series on Boxing Day, and his home track, his home event that he's passionate about. He's a great supporter and sponsor of our sport, and great to see you here as a spectator today, Mick. Welcome back. So that's what air fencing is all about, folks, the safety of our competitors, and Mick, a great example. So that's our little story of the day, not too far away from our podium here. Do come and join us. Podium for the sidecars up next. Oh, well done, crew. Nice with us, but make your work not easy.
Oh, I always knew it was going to be a battle with Baz and Trace, and I said they would get the gate. Unfortunately, I left a little hole for them, and they went around the outside, but I wasn't bothered, to be blunt, because I wanted to settle behind Barry and harry him rather than him harrying me. But I got sick of that because he was giving me a tap everywhere, which way but lose. So once we got a few laps done, I thought, right, if I'm going to make a break, I've got to do it now. And it went pretty much to plan, to be honest with you. I think the back markers might have messed him up probably a bit more than me. I hope so, but I don't know. But yeah, hell of a battle. Just got that little bit edge on speed. And it's easier when you're behind to pass people because you can pick their lines. But oh, he's a warrior. The pair of them make me sick.
Hey, to come back to the circuit.
Oh, I love the circuit, but unfortunately it's probably more F2 than the other track. I'm taking a little bit of Barry here and there, but where I was with the Hampton Downs, I could take a big lump out of him. We've changed the bike quite dramatically from last week. I pulled the handlebars because I'm short. I like riding short. We've had a lot of work on the brakes to get them working as we should, and I've actually had the bike padded out, so I'm not moving it around. And all these little things, they just make a difference. I don't know about Barry, I mean, with regards to them, but it's definitely an F2 track because everything's a stop-go, which tends to suit the smaller bikes. But we had a sort of plan. I changed my lines, and I balked him a bit, to be honest with you. I knew where he was going, so I made sure he couldn't go there. So it was just a battle of chess, and I won this one, but the next race is a different story.
All right. Excuse me. Support over there because I can stand between you, and we have lovely Louise out there all the time. You must almost feel like you want to reach over and touch the lovely on the other side because you're getting so close.
We were very close there at the start. Had the option whether to let it slide along my arm. I let it do my arm rather than let go, but certainly and Baz, but all in good racing, really good fun. It was mouse out.
I noticed you had to do so much more work. You're all over the track trying to find those lines to overtake. That's no easy out there.
Yeah, well, it's not a set thing. It changes every time you go out there. So of course, then I have to adapt to how Pete's riding, which is always good. But yeah, looking around to find where they were was quite a bit of a mission.
the fact we've repeated that history again with Tracy and tells Tina back and they're doing the swinging and third place there. What's it real like of you ladies? Are you sort of almost at the end of the day having a celebration amongst yourselves as well?
Oh, it is definitely something to be proud of.
Yeah.
But we don't let I don't let it go to my head. It's just what I do. I like the racing. I don't do it for any kind of fame or anything like that. I just love the team environment, love racing against Tracy and Tina. So yeah, and I think we're all on the same page there. So yeah, it's just a great thing to have had happened. Yeah.
Well done. So there you go with your sidecars. Pete and Louise doing it again in fine style. So great to see. Bring on more sidecar racing. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, day number 2 for this, the DHL Express 4th round of our NZSBK.